Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And our story this morning is fog. I'll show you where you're more likely to see it and when it should dissipate.
False alarm. Classes are canceled today at UNCW after reports of someone with a gun on campus. The message to students after an hours-long shelter in place.
And game day security. Another week of high school football in Edgecombe County, just 1 week after a shooting at a game. The permanent changes on the way for people headed out to games tonight. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. A lot to tell you about here on this Friday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levingood. All right, we have made it to the end of the week, but we still have a work day to go. Let's lock in, beginning with your forecast with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner.
And it's an interesting morning commute. We're going to see varying conditions. It's fairly clear right now around the triangle, but our eastern counties have a good chance of seeing fog developing. And we're seeing it in a few spots, even not the ones that are highlighted there from the National Weather Service. But that's where we have what's called a special weather statement. And then, of course, we have a dense fog advisory here in Northampton County, and that includes folks up around Roanoke Rapids. When we're looking at fog on the visibility map, we're looking for a quarter of a mile, and so that's where we'd have the best chance of seeing fog. So getting closer to it is Roxborough at 1 mile and South Hill at 2 miles. Fog tends to change pretty rapidly. We do have fog showing up on the camera here in Wilson. Our temperature is 62, the dew point 62, so we do have a saturated air mass, which is why we've had the fog develop. Now, that will dissipate by lunchtime, and then we heat up, and our story this afternoon is our 90-degree temperatures, and we'll talk about why it'll be so hot coming up. Right now, we're going to take a quick look at what's happening here in the tropics. Tropical storm Gabrielle, this is our 5 o'clock advisory. No big changes, still could become a hurricane over the weekend, but stays far from the United States. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're getting reports of Wendell police working this crash here on Highway 64, those westbound lanes right near Edgemont Road. You can see the huge delays it's causing all the way back to Lizard Lake Road. So I would recommend, if you're listening to us on 101.5 HD3, getting off on Lizard Lake Road over to Highway 97. That will give you an alternate route around the slowdowns that we're seeing there on those Highway 64 westbound lanes. So keep that in mind. As far as other major routes coming into the capital city, very little to no delays coming in. And in Durham, similarly, we're not seeing any delays on any of those major routes. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. We'll keep you updated all morning long. 101.5 HD3.
Progress is being made to restore power in Johnston County. As many as 3,000 people at one point were without electricity this morning. What you're seeing here is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker near Flowers Parkway and NC 42. Power in that area started coming back online around 4:30.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center, giving you a look here at remarks from the chancellor here at UNC Wilmington. This is where there were false reports of an armed person on campus yesterday. In this statement here, he says that again, everyone is safe. He says that classes are canceled for today, as well as activities. And towards the bottom here, he also says that they have seen a lot of misinformation online. Again, they sweep the campus, didn't find anything. We're continuing to track this situation here because we are expecting an update from officials on campus at some point this morning. They're saying at 8:30 by the absolute latest. Of course, we will keep you updated here in the Live Center.
High school football returns in Edgecombe County tonight, 1 week after shooting at a Southwest Edgecombe game. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is live at Tarboro High, where they're playing at home tonight. And Sean, there will be a heavy presence from the sheriff's office there at the game.
Yeah, much heavier presence, Renee. Give you some perspective. There will be more deputies at these games than there will be players on one side of the ball. The Edgecombe County Sheriff telling us they are doubling it from 6 to 12. And that's not just here at Tarboro High School, where they are hosting a game tonight, but every high school football game across the county. And it's one of many changes parents and students should expect to see at these games. The hope is to avoid another terrifying scene like this, kids scattering from the Southwest Edgecombe's football field last week after that shooting. Superintendent Andy Bryan says they started working with law enforcement immediately after that game and really staying connected all week. On top of more deputies, Bryan says they will have more lighting, weapons detection systems, and metal detectors at these sites, with emphasis on exits and entrances with even more security. And what they see tonight is what they should expect moving forward.
These changes we're talking about are permanent changes. And I would say that as we continue to review the safety procedures and processes we have in place, there might be even more changes as we go through. And we're going to try to make sure that we are safe, and our spectators are safe, and our student athletes are safe.
Now, a 17-year-old was taken into custody and is facing charges for attempted first-degree murder. But law enforcement says this was an isolated incident between parties that all knew each other. But regardless of that, the district wants to take every precaution it can in trying to prevent this from ever happening again. In Edgecombe County, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
New this morning, we now know that country music songwriter Brett James was killed in a plane crash in western North Carolina. Brett was one of 3 people aboard when it crashed near an elementary school in Macon County. There were no survivors. The plane was on its way to the Macon County airport from Nashville, Tennessee, and federal investigators will be at that scene today looking for a cause of that crash. James had a hand in writing nearly 500 songs over his career, and that includes for Carrie Underwood, Kelly Clarkson, and Scotty McCreery. Happening today, family, friends, and community members will gather to remember Erica Lucas. Lucas is a former Wake County principal and the wife of Wake Forest High School's head football coach. She died 2 weeks ago. Let's bring in Allie Kadlabar. She's live at the Friendship Chapel Baptist Church this morning in Wake Forest. Allie, Lucas died after police say she was shot at a home in Wake Forest.
An unimaginable past few weeks, Chris, for Erica Lucas's loved ones. And today here at Friendship Chapel Baptist Church, we're going to hear from community members share stories and remember her. And what they're going to remember about her, what many share about her, is that she was a former Roseville High School principal. She served in the Wake County public school system for 30 years. 2 teenagers shot Lucas at her home in Wake Forest last month. Police say she wasn't the target. Both teenagers have been charged with murder, and there was a visitation and celebration of life held yesterday. Today at 6 p.m. here at Friendship Chapel Baptist Church, community members are invited to share memories and stories and gratitude for knowing Lucas. Reporting live in Wake Forest, Allie Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Happening today, an NCDOT employee will appear before a judge. We're talking about Brian Mayhew. He's accused of breaking into a couple's Raleigh home and planting a camera. Warrants show Mayhew has been charged with felony secret peeping and breaking and entering. This stems from a break-in on Monday morning on Lionel Lane. Mayhew is out on bond. He would not answer questions when we knocked on his door. This is at least the 4th secret peeping arrest in Wake County in the last month. Neighbors we spoke with are uneasy about the news of the charges.
Just surprising. I don't know what to say. I can't believe that happened. If somebody's going to break into your house, there's not much you can do if you're not home or anything like that. And I don't know what I would do. That's scary.
NCDOT tells us Mayhew has been placed on leave.
A man accused of stealing a woman's car and kidnapping her child already had pending charges against him. Tyler Tootle was under an active protective order against the child's mother, Candace Fargas. He was facing charges of assault and domestic violence against her. Well, Tootle was at the center of a statewide Amber Alert Wednesday. He is accused of jumping into Fargas's vehicle that was running with a child in the back seat in Randolph County. He then drove 2 hours away, but investigators managed to catch him. Tootle spoke briefly with WRAL after his court appearance.
Tyler, anything you want to say to the mother of that child, to Candace?
No, ma'am. I love my daughter, and that is my daughter legally.
And to be clear, the mother says he's an ex-boyfriend, not the biological father, nor does he have legal custody. Tootle is being held on a $1 million bond.
Governor Stein says soldiers are not needed to help with law enforcement in North Carolina. His remarks come as President Trump has deployed troops to Washington, D.C. and has threatened to do so in other cities run by Democrats. Trump has also focused heavily on the recent stabbing in Charlotte last month, which left 23-year-old Irina Zaruska dead. Yesterday, Governor Stein met with her family. He also called for raising pay for law enforcement, saying we need more police patrolling, not the military.
We don't need soldiers on our streets. Let's use that money that's very expensive and actually apply it to making sure we have more law enforcement officers who can serve our community, deter crime, and hold those who commit crime accountable.
State lawmakers plan to return to Raleigh next week. Stein says they need to work on finally passing a new state budget, one that he says should include his proposal for higher law enforcement salaries.
Today is 919 Day in the Triangle, and a big party is planned for tonight at NC State's Centennial campus. The local holiday happens every September 19th, which, of course, is a nod to our local area code. The celebration in Raleigh will include live music, food trucks, and local vendors. A local name is scheduled to perform as well, Raleigh native Jason Adamo. He spoke with WRAL's Laura Levine this week about playing for a hometown crowd.
It's an amazing opportunity that station, 95.7, gives us to come onto the campus at NC State to perform locally and celebrate the rich talent that North Carolina, especially the Triangle area, offers.
An incredible night of live music tonight at NC State's Centennial campus. Gates open at 5 p.m. with music starting at 6. Picnic blankets and lawn chairs are welcome, but no pets or outside alcohol is allowed.
Free speech concerns. Journalists, celebrities, and fans reacting to Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. The new demand from one of the broadcast companies that's no longer airing his show.
And bus drivers for hire. Several school districts in our area are looking to fill positions where you should go if you're interested.
And our biggest story this morning is the chance of patchy dense fog. We've seen some of that in our eastern counties. I'll let you know if you'll run into it as you're heading out the door.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
614, just brand new. The dense fog advisory was expanded to include most of our eastern counties. So that's going to include Smithfield or Johnston County, Goldsboro, Wilson, Rocky Mount, and of course, all the way up through Northampton County. This is where you're more likely to run into some foggy conditions. In terms of cameras, the Wilson camera has been the foggiest one that we've seen. And then we'll take a look at our forecast. We're going to talk more about that fog coming up in just a little bit. But I don't want you to miss this beach forecast. It's going to be almost like a summer weekend at the beach. It looks phenomenal. Mid 80s at Wrightsville Beach, Ocracoke, Nags Head in the mid 70s for tomorrow. We're going to see sunny skies all weekend. It might be slightly cooler on Sunday, but not much. Nags Head at 75, Wrightsville at 84. A little bit of color starting to pop up in the mountains. If you are headed to the beaches, don't forget to watch that rip current danger. The mountains look gorgeous over the weekend. There's a very small chance of a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. Highest elevations 60s and down lower in the mid 80s. We're going to see a warm weekend here. I'll show you what to expect coming up. Ken?
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, major congestion because of this crash on Highway 64 in the westbound lanes near Edgemont Road. You can see the huge delays it's causing. Also, one lane of traffic is getting through, the other lane shut down. So I got to tell you, if you're stuck in this traffic and you're listening to us on 101.5 HD3, you might want to get off on Lizard Lake Road, work your way over to Highway 97. If you're coming in from Zebulon, you might want to take Highway 97 to begin with. I'll have an update in less than 10 minutes.
Fans of Jimmy Kimmel are protesting because his show was suspended by ABC. Demonstrators were gathered outside the El Capitan Theater in L.A. yesterday. That's the venue for Kimmel's late night show. Kimmel was pulled off the air over comments that he made about the suspect in Charlie Kirk's shooting. Speaking on Air Force One, President Donald Trump supported the decision. He suggested certain networks should have licenses revoked.
They're 97% against. They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. So,
Television group Sinclair is calling for an apology from Kimmel and demands he make a donation to Turning Point USA before it airs his show again.
Johnson County is looking for more bus drivers. You could also take on a dual role as a driver, teacher's assistant, custodian, or school nutrition employee. The hourly rate starts at nearly $19 an hour, excuse me. You will also get paid CDL training and overtime opportunities. You can apply by going to the school district's website.
Wake County is also looking for more bus drivers. A new report on vacancies shows there are 330 vacant positions. The school system says it needs 940 drivers, and that means 35% of the necessary positions are empty. There are 148 open teacher positions and 116 instructional assistants that are needed. Celebrating cultures from all around the world and learning about the world of bugs.
It is time to take a look at WRAL Out and About's Weekend Best Bets. A fall tradition in the Triangle will celebrate 10 years. Asia Fest is back. It draws thousands to Kokobuth Amphitheater in Cary. On Saturday, you can explore nearly 100 exhibits and activities, sample delicious food, and cheer on the dragon boat races. I'm excited to MC the main stage performances. Today at 9:20 on Fox 50, we'll hear from one of the organizers. WRAL is a proud media partner.
The International Festival at the State Fairgrounds gets underway tomorrow as well. The event will include authentic foods, live music, and handcrafted goods and clothing from around the world. That event runs from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
The North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences is celebrating bugs tomorrow. Bug Fest will immerse people in the world of arthropods. There will be hands-on activities and more than 100 exhibits. And you can even eat bugs if you dare. Local chefs will serve up dishes prepared with insects. For more weekend fun, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
A lot of activities that you can get underway this weekend, but the question is, will people be able to enjoy the weather while they're outside?
Yeah, well, it'll be a warm one for sure, but we're also tracking a lot of activity in the tropics right now. Elizabeth Gardner with an update on Tropical Storm Gabrielle.
Yeah, Gabrielle looking more organized this morning, especially here on the west side of the storm. Yesterday, it was looking very ragged, but it still held those 50-mile-per-hour winds, which is what we're seeing this morning. It's moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. It is well away from land. You can see where the center of circulation is down here are the Leeward Islands. It will continue to move to the north and west and swing just east of Bermuda, which is here. And as long as it stays east of Bermuda, Bermuda's probably in pretty good shape. Typically, if a system passes to the west of you, you're going to be in the area that sees more danger and more damage. But things looking pretty good. It may become a hurricane over the weekend. But what's happening with this is it's being steered around this high pressure system. This high rotating clockwise will steer it right around. And we do have a weak front that'll come off the coast over the weekend. That also will kind of help to kick that out and away. Well, what about our weekend? Yeah, it's going to be hot. We'll hit 90 today and then close to it again tomorrow. And then we have a weak front that'll come through that will bring us some cooler temperatures on Sunday. We'll stay nice and dry over the weekend, even with that front. So we'll see lots of sunshine. It is officially the last weekend of summer on the calendar. It's going to feel like it if you want to get out to the lake or maybe even head to the beach. This morning, our biggest issue is the chance for fog. Dense fog advisory for our eastern counties. The Wilson camera has been showing fog all morning, right now showing quarter-mile visibility, and that's what we would expect as we see fog there. Some lower visibility also around Clinton and Roxborough this morning, as well as South Hill. Here comes that weak front on Sunday. We're not likely to see much rain with it, but it'll drop our temperatures a little bit. Then it's really our next weather maker. Our watering forecast, we're going to be dry till Tuesday. But after that, for Wednesday and Thursday, we could start to see a better chance of some rain, but it's still likely to be a quarter to a tenth of an inch. Over the last several weeks, we've started to see our drought worsening, and we do have abnormally dry conditions across our entire viewing area with a few pockets of moderate drought for the first time since last May. Maybe some good news here, though. Potentially the next 6 to 10 days are trending a little wetter than normal. How about temperatures? 90 today, but back to 82 on Sunday, and we're seeing more warmth by the middle of next week, Ken.
Oh, Elizabeth, happening now. Major traffic alert on Highway 64 in the westbound lanes because of this crash, shutting down at least one of two lanes. You can see the huge delays it's causing all the way back to Highway 96. So if you're listening to us on the radio at 101.5 HD3, you might want to get off on Lizard Lake Road, work your way over to Highway 97 as an alternate route to get around what's happening there on Highway 64. We also have Raleigh Police working a crash on Pool Road right near the Beltline, not causing any problems for you this morning. I'll keep an eye on this and have another update for you in less than 10 minutes.
Harvest time. Farmers in eastern North Carolina are collecting their peanut crops, the interesting process known as pod blasting.
And groundbreaking research. Duke Health is helping people suffering from spinal cord injuries. What doctors are saying could lead to safer care.
It's peanut harvest season in eastern North Carolina. Farmers in Pitt County are making one of the most important decisions of the year. Every September, Pitt County farmers bring their peanut plants to a facility off Old River Road called the Charles Tucker & Son Peanut Company. The process is known as pod blasting. Workers pressure wash the outer layers of the peanuts to reveal the inside layer of the shell, and the color tells growers exactly when to dig up their crops.
Pod blasting is the most important decision a grower is going to make on this field this year. You know, the color, it tells us when the peanut's more mature and more ready to be taken out of the field, and it also minimizes the loss of the earlier peanuts. You dig too early, you lose more of our year yellow or less mature peanuts. The darker the color, the more mature.
The peanuts are giving the clues. North Carolina farmers will produce about 136,000 acres of peanuts this year. 1 out of every 4 will be exported. North Carolina is the top producer of bagged roasted peanuts served at baseball games across the country. And Pitt County ranks 4th in our state for production.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug and Home.
Swifties counting down to A Life of a Showgirl and a new illusion in theaters this fall.
Yeah, Ken Smith is here this morning now with What's Trending.
Christopher, Swifties very excited. Taylor Swift taking over the airwaves this weekend. Taylor's Channel 13 returns to Sirius XM tomorrow. The station spotlights every era of her career tomorrow. Her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, drops October 3rd in 13 days, by the way.
And on Channel 13, because we all know that's Taylor's favorite number, the new album will play on the station every hour on its release day.
It's going to be something. Hey, the Four Horsemen returning. The new trailer for Now You See Me, Now You Don't is out. The Illusionists teaming up with young recruits in the new film.
Yeah, it stars Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, and Rosamund Pike. Hits the theaters November 14th. First one's pretty good. I hadn't had a chance to see the second one, though.
It's going to be good, I'm sure.
All right, thanks, Ken.
Remembering Erica Lucas, a memorial service today for the former Wake County principal after she was shot and killed earlier this month. How people are honoring her memory today.
And heightened security. Fans returning to high school football in Edgecombe County tonight. What players will see just 1 week after a shooting at a football game there.
And weather geeks, take a look. This is fascinating. You can see the clear skies as we look over toward Garner, but look at all this fog that's sitting right on the ground. I'll let you know if you could run into some of that as you're heading out the door.
Here's a look at the winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers.